What's up, YouTube? Sam here. Blessed with another day of life, and blessed to be making another week of this video challenge me that he got going. And today, what I'd like to talk about is every king must first start off as a clown, and it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense at all, but that's the way it needs to be. And I'm gonna explain why in this video, and it's pretty simple. But first, I need to explain by explaining that in the Bible, um, we read that it's said that God is going to use the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And what that means is that usually it's the person who understands that he doesn't know anything that gets revelation of what's around them. And usually with really wise, smart people, their problem and their downfall is that they believe they know everything, and that if it's not taught a certain way, usually they won't hear it. They won't even hear it if it's not the way that they're used to learning, and that's a problem. So when it says the foolish things, it means people who understand that they don't know everything, people who understand that how much there is to know and how little they are compared to this world. And the second thing, oh, and it says that knowledge puffeth up in the Bible too, which is very true. If you see somebody who's really smart, they're usually kind of arrogant, or if they're really good at something, music or something. And I'm not saying all people who are smart or good at something are arrogant, but I'm saying that's the characteristic of holding that kind of in an idolatrous way. So, but there's another thing that the Bible says, and it says that, and this is going to be probably the main example that I use, and it's that Jesus says in the Bible that, and I never really understood this, but he said that in order to get into heaven, you needed to be like a child. And the way, what I understood thinking about it is that the thing about children is that they're mistake making machines. They're little clowns. And that's the thing about a clown, somebody that we look at and laugh, somebody that we don't really take serious. They don't even take themselves serious. They they live to make people laugh, and that's how children are. And they embrace that. They understand that they don't know anything, and that they're they're injury prone, they're accident prone. They're you ask them to write you a long essay, and they won't be able to write it. They'll write it about, and the things they think about are just silly. They think about, and they make everything kind of funny. So um, that's the thing about kids. They're little clowns, but yet at the same time, they have so much potential because of that, and they the world is theirs. They can do anything they want, and they understand that. So that is why, in order to become a king, you must be a clown. You must be not understanding of anything at one point in your life, of something. Every king needs to start as uh, somebody who doesn't know anything, a fool of any niche, of anything that they get into. We all start off as a fool in whatever we're doing. If you notice, there's still some kings and very prominent, famous people that don't know English well from other countries when they're speaking to Americans for any reason. Athletes, for example, they'll be like, they'll have a really heavy accent and they'll look foolish, and you'll be laughing at the words they say and the way they say them. But that's all part of it. That's all part of being a clown. That's all part of not understanding everything completely. That's part of all of that. So we all need to be foolish for one point of our lives in order to grow. Um, Musicians, there was a point where every musician that was a pro started off as a a somebody who played Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's a funny thing. That's messing up at it too. That's funny. A pro would have laughed at himself when he was starting off. And but that's the thing about a king and a fool. The fool keeps on messing up, but the king, he changes. He learns what his mistakes are. He puts hours into the practice, and he slides out of that. And the fool, he never learns. And the fool also, and the clown also, likes the attention, so he never grows. And he likes the fact that a king will have him around sometimes. There's a court jester. And what happened was that kings would have a clown just so they could laugh at something when they wanted to have entertainment. And clowns probably like the attention. They like the attention from everybody. They like getting laughed at, so they stayed in there. And that's a problem. Problem to stay as a clown. Everybody needs to be a clown though. Every time you're gonna try something new, every time you're gonna learn a new language, every time you're gonna um, learn a new recipe in cooking, you're gonna have to mess up. Maybe make something too spicy, something too sweet, but that's all life. Um, yeah, we see it all the time, and every time you're gonna go and do something new, every time you're gonna have a new adventure, a new venture, buy a new house or something, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna look like a fool. The thing is not to stay as a fool, and that's the thing though. We gotta embrace that we're gonna be a clown, and we gotta be willing to be that clown. We gotta embrace the clown, and not enough people will tell you that. Not enough people will tell you to be new at something, to sound dumb at something, and to embrace it. Um, there's a drummer at my church. He's trying to learn the drums. He doesn't know how to play at all, and he told me, "I want to learn the drums." He's kind of like 18 or 19 years old, and I told him, "Hey, man." And I actually just thought about it, and I was like, "You're gonna look kind of foolish for a long time," and he's okay with that. He's okay with it, and I respect that and I honor that because not anybody can do that. A lot of people will be like, "I'm too old." And I see people in my class right now, in my classes, they're about 60, 70 years old, and they're going back to school asking a 20-year-old, 25, 30-year-old teacher, professor questions. It's foolish questions that we would think, but they're there. They're being foolish. They're being dumb. But that's the thing about the life, and that's the thing that the Bible explains to us. It's good to be foolish, just not forever, and maybe even forever. We'll never know. We'll never be able to go into a library and know every single word in every single book inside of there. We're never gonna name all the planets. We're never gonna do that. And the thing is, we just gotta realize that and be a king of what we could get down within our lives. And with that being said, God bless. Like and subscribe. Definitely always know that you're not the greatest, you're not the smartest, you're not the best and everything. Um, that way you can learn, and it makes everything life a teacher instead of life a student for you. You'll always be learning something, you'll always be understanding something, you'll always be gaining wisdom. And with that being said, again, like and subscribe. God bless, take care, and see you guys soon. Bye.